Hello everyone, my name is Evan Borelli. Today I'm making a very brief instructional video regarding finding quarters, eighths, and sixteenths. So if you haven't watched it yet, I would recommend that you go back and watch my video on finding halves. This provides a very strong foundation because what you might not know is to find quarters, eighths, or sixteenths, all you have to know to do is find halves. And this actually works for any power of 2. So that's 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and they keep going. If you want to divide by these numbers, you can use this method. It's very effective. It's much easier than thinking of it the traditional way of division. So we're going to review this by finding half. We're going to review how we find half. We're going to start off by finding half of 47. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to break up 47 into the tens part and the ones part, 40 and 7, and I'm going to find half of each of those numbers. Once again, if you are unsure on how to find half, be sure to go back and watch the video that I made on finding half. This will help you greatly. I'm going to find half of 40, and that is equal to 20, and I'm going to find half of 7, which is equal to 3.5. Okay, if I add those two numbers together, I will get 23.5, which is half of 47. Now, you might notice that this screen here gets progressively larger. The problems become a lot bigger, and that's because to find a quarter, all you have to do is to find half and then find half again. To find 1/8, you find half, then half again, and then half one more time. And then for 1/16, same sort of pattern. We're going to find half a total of 4 times. Okay, so let's find a quarter of 52. That's the second one on your screen right there. Okay, so we're going to start off by breaking up 52 into 50 and 2. And I'm going to start by finding half of 50 and half of 2. So half of 50 is 25. Half of 2 is 1. But now I have to do it again. So let's do it again. Half of 25, and if I want to, I can actually break that up further. I didn't here just to save a little bit of space, but if you want to, break up 25 into 20 and 5 just to make it a little bit easier on yourself. Okay, and you'll find that when you do that, half of 25 is equal to 12.5, and half of 1 is equal to 1/2. Now, one thing that we're going to need to note here going forward is to find half of 1, which is 1/2. Now, what if I need to find half of 1/2? Well, that's going to be 1/4. And if I want to find half of 1/4, it's 1/8. And you can see that the denominator of the fraction, right, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, multiplies by 2 each and every time. Okay, so if I want to find half of one of these fractions like this, what I can do is simply multiply the denominator by 2. Okay, so now let's move on to finding, or sorry, we need to answer this question here. 12.5 plus 1/2. Well, it's 12 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. If I have 2 halves, it's equal to 1. So it's 12 plus 1, which is equal to 13. Let's move on to finding 1/8. I'm going to try 1/8 of 164. You can see the numbers are getting a little bit bigger here, but same rule applies. In this case, if I'm finding 1/8, I'm going to find half, then half again, and half for a third time here. Let's start off by breaking up my numbers. I'm going to break this up into 160 and 4. Now you can break it up further. You can break it up into 100 plus 60 plus 4. It would make it a little bit easier. But here, if you watch my previous video, you will learn how to figure out half of 160, for example, as well. So half of 160 is 80, and half of 4 is 2. Okay, let's keep going. Half of 80 is 40, and half of 2 is 1. And one more time, half of 40 is 20, and half of 1 is 1/2. Add it up, and it is 20 and 1/2. Okay, the last one, and this is a really big one. This is a little bit of a challenge question. So this is definitely something to work up to. I would practice a lot with finding a quarter and finding an eighth before a question like this with the numbers that I'm using here. We're going to find 1/16 of 348. Okay, I'm going to break that up into 300, into 40, and 8. Okay, let's find half of 300 is 150. Half of 40 is 20. Half of 8 is 4. Okay, next step. Half of 150 is 75. Half of 20 is 10. Half of 4 is 2. Another step here. Half of 75 is 37 and 1/2. Half of 10 is 5, and half of 2 is 1. Now, this is where it might get a little bit tricky. It's important here to break up the numbers. So if I have to find half of 37 and 1/2, well, I'd find half of 30, which is 15, half of 7, which is 3.5, and half of 1/2, which is 1/4. Once again, you see there, if I find half of 1/2, I would multiply the denominator by 2, or double the denominator. Okay, now if I add those parts together, I'm going to get 18 3/4. Okay, let's find half of 5, that is 2 1/2, and half of 1, which of course is 1/2. If I add that all up, I'm going to get 21 3/4. Now you can continue, of course, you could see I don't have very much room, but you can go on and find 1/32 or 1/64, and the possibilities are endless. This is something that's really fun to work on. It's not only enjoyable, but it will improve your mental math skills. And it is so crucial to be able to find half, quarters, eighths, etc. You will often encounter situations where you need to divide by 8. And maybe the wording is not the exact same, but the process is the same, right? If I need to divide by 8, it's the same as finding 1/8. So I can use this here. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and share it with someone who you think would enjoy it as well. And we are going to say goodbye from Mathnasium for now.